Hey my loves! Welcome back to Sensational Sense, where I help you glow up from the inside out. If you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed, fix that now by hitting the bell and join the growing community of sensational ladies all over the world. So, as you can see from the title, today we are talking about pick-me women and why you should never be one. Now, I do want to make a quick disclaimer before we dive in. This is a positive channel, and using the term pick me is not intended to bash or divide women. It's just used because that's the term that most people know in today's society. But essentially, we're talking about women with internalized misogyny. And I do want to extend some empathy to women with internalized misogyny because it's very easy to have it in a patriarchal society. I think we can all, if we're honest with ourselves, look back on different eras in our lives and see where we might have had some internal misogyny ourselves. So, just to get that out of the way, this is not looking down on any women, this is not bashing women, it's just highlighting a type of behavior that doesn't work out for women in the long run. Now that that's done, let's get into the tea. So first, let's start with a definition. A pick-me woman is essentially a woman who seeks male validation and usually goes to extreme lengths to do so. This could be throwing other women under the bus to make herself seem superior. It could be contrasting herself to other women or to stereotypically feminine activities. Oh, I hate girls who wear makeup. Girls are so obsessed with makeup. I'm not like that. Or I really like football. I'm really into sports. I can't stand women who just want to stay at home and talk about girly things. Not me. It could be performative submission. I would always make sure my man comes home to a clean house. There would never be anything messy in my house. I don't know how some women do that, these poor men. But essentially, it's a woman who molds herself to be whatever she thinks the man in front of her wants. So if she thinks that he wants a docile, quiet, and submissive woman, she plays up those traits and gets rid of any traits that contrast that. If she thinks he wants a cool girl who's low maintenance, doesn't ask for too much, then she becomes that. It's essentially a woman who becomes what she thinks a man wants because she wants to be picked. So as you can see, it's very much a product of patriarchy and even in some cases a survival mechanism of women who are male-centered. So now that we've established what a pick-me is, it's important for me to highlight why it never works out being one. So let's get into that. Reason number one, men who don't like women are misogynists. And the truth is, misogynists don't like women, period. Whether you are the submissive, docile queen, if they are a misogynist, they won't like you. If you're more of a Samantha from Sex and the City and you're out there and doing your thing, if they're a misogynist, they won't like you. If you're independent and have your own money, if they're a misogynist, they won't like you. Hopefully you get the point. Molding yourself to be what you think a misogynist wants is never going to work out for you. Because even if you do get picked, if you are pretending to be something you're not, you will have to maintain that facade throughout the duration of your relationship. And usually that becomes harder when children get involved and you require a bit more support. More importantly, any man that bashes any type of woman should be a glaring red flag. And seeing yourself as different, oh, well, I'm not like those women, or he wouldn't beat me up because I don't talk back to men, is a very dangerous mindset to have. So essentially, if a man gives signs of being a misogynist, they don't like women, period. So it's not worth you molding yourself into being what you think he might prefer because you're not winning a prize. You're aligning yourself with someone who has deep-seated hatred for women. The second reason why being a pick-me never works out is because 9 times out of 10, women support women. And so bashing other women to get the approval of men, throwing other women under the bus to get the approval of men, essentially minimizes your support circle in times of need. Think about it. When girls go through a breakup, who is it that usually picks them up? They're girls. When you get a new job, who is it that usually celebrates? Your girls. Now, that's not to say that all women are nice to all women all the time. However, any friend who has a modicum of self-respect will essentially stop showing up for you if you sell them out and disrespect them every time a man is around. So it's important to remember to water the seeds that bear fruit instead of chasing the approval of men who could be here today and gone tomorrow. So throwing other women under the bus always comes back to bite. It's not worth ruining sisterhood or ruining friendships to get the temporary and often superficial attention of a man. And finally, another reason why being a pick-me simply isn't worth it is because pick-me's are desperate. And regardless of what men say, nobody likes desperate energy. Women who mold their entire personality, their voices, their outfits, their choices in what food they eat or don't eat, around what they think a man prefers, are giving off desperate energy. And when you give off desperate energy, it's human nature for others to be completely repelled. So you're better off being your authentic self, being the best woman that you can be, whilst maintaining your authenticity and attracting a person who actually likes you for you and doesn't like you based on some fake feminine performance. Final disclaimer on this, ladies. There's nothing inherently wrong with wanting to be picked. There's nothing wrong with desiring a partner or a relationship or a family. It's just important to make sure that your desire for these things is not getting in the way of your authenticity or your friendships and respect for other women and for yourself. Now, I could talk about this topic for hours because this conversation is so nuanced, and I still do believe that honing your feminine energy as a woman is something that will benefit you, not just in your dating life, but for your mental and physical health and financially. So do look at that video to get a more nuanced perspective on what I mean when I say feminine energy. However, I would also recommend that you look at my video on why people pleasers finish last, because in that video, I talk about why it's important not to compromise who you are to try and get the attention of someone else. If you can master the balance between these two things and find a way to be your authentic self without working against what may feel natural to you, I feel like you'll be the happiest, most beautiful, magnetic, gorgeous version of yourself. Check out my other videos on my How to Grow Up Romantically playlists for all the other amazing topics we cover over there, from how to be happy single and use your single season to what not to do during your single season. I hope you found this video helpful, my loves. Until the next one, mwah.